Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of Dale's Rails, where I'm posting a fifth in a series of videos that I'm doing on the Marx and Lionel post-war models. This would be the models, in my humble opinion, that would be considered Lionel and Marx legacy models, because they represent the best of the best during that time of production, when they both were owners of their companies. So it's been kind of difficult to condense this all down and try to keep these videos short. So please stick around until the end, and I hope you enjoy. This week we have up some great models, probably the height of the post-war era is what will be represented today. And what we have up here on the outer loop are the Trainmasters diesels, and this week's Nirvana is going to be on the Trainmaster. And what I'd like to know is what were the Fairbanks Morris Company made with the Trainmaster diesels, specifically their power plant. So the Fairbanks Morris Trainmasters here were first produced in 1954. It started with the number 2321 Lackawanna. It was equipped with magnet traction, interior lights at both ends. It had dual vertical worm drive Pullmore motors, a horn, a 3-position reverse unit that was adjustable from the bottom, and operating disc couplers on both ends. The flanges on the inner wheels here are missing, so this model could negotiate the tighter radiuses of O-gauge track. And this engine will not operate on 027 gauge track. There are 3 variations. Variation A had a red or maroon painted roof and striping. That was early 54, similar to this variation here. Variation B had a dull maroon painted roof and striping, late 54. These are considered, the maroon roofs are considered the rare version of these. Variation C, it was pretty much all gray and had a maroon stripe down the middle of the locomotive. That was produced from 54, 56, probably why it was the more common model to find. The second production in 1955 and ran through 1958 was a 2331 Virginian. It had rubber stamped lettering and is the only one of this type of diesel that Lionel did not put the cab numbers on. And it's equipped exactly like the Lackawanna. There are 3 variations. Variation A was a gray, yellow painted body with black stripe and gold lettering. That's early 55 production. Variation B, it was a gray body, yellow painted body with blue painted stripe and yellow lettering, and is the rarest of all the Trainmasters. But its similarity with Variation C causes it to be undervalued. Late 55 production. Variation C, blue body that has an unpainted roof and stripe with yellow lettering. 1956 to 58 production. The Virginia was the only version reissued in 1965. It was a number 2322. The third production, number 2341 Jersey Central, would only be available 1 year only, 1956. The body is blue plastic, painted orange, with white heat stamp lettering, Jersey Central lines. There is a difference in the spacing between Jersey and Central on each side. In some cases, the J in Jersey is heavily cut into the plastic by the heat stamp, so much so that it's visible to the naked eye. These differences distinguish an original from a forgery. The fakes use silkscreen lettering. This version is equipped like the original Lackawanna. There are 2 variations. Variation A has high gloss orange painted body and is the rarest version. Variation B has a dull orange painted body, and collectors should be aware that this variation is sometimes polished with paste wax to achieve the look of the rare version A. I restored one of these for an acquaintance. He didn't even really know what he had. He just knew it was a Lionel engine of his dad, and he wanted it restored. I was kind of taken aback a little bit. I really didn't think the condition that it would have been in. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was just kind of in your typical, unran, unloved condition. I didn't realize that it was a problem to use anything on the shell to restore it until after I did use some restore on it. I didn't polish it, but it did bring back the original bright colors, and it did make it a little bit more shiny, but it was in pretty bad shape, and I was surprised, even the condition that was in. I seen a similar one sell on eBay that was in similar condition, maybe not even as good a condition as his, for $900. So that kind of surprised me. One of these in great, excellent condition sold several years ago for $4,000. So you might want to think twice before you throw this out with the trash. And any of the Train Masters, they are great runners and pullers. I mean, these do have dual motors, so these things are just as beastly as they look. And the Train Master engine itself, its claim to fame at the time, with this 2,400 horsepower engine, was the most powerful and the largest road switcher at that time. Next up here, we have the Lionel EMD GP7. First produced in 1955, was the number 2338 Milwaukee Road for both 0 and 027 sets. And it was, again, issued in 56. It's equipped with magnet traction, horn operated by a D-cell battery, 3-position E unit with bottom control lever with a single vertical worm drive pull-more motor, lighted both ends with heat stamped numbers, and rubber stamped railroad herald on both sides. There are 5 variations. Variation A, high gloss orange body that is painted black. The orange band goes all the way around the shell. The red rubber stamped railroad herald did not adhere very well on this variation. This is an early production and is rare. Variation B, high gloss orange body that is painted black. The orange stripe ends at the cab and begins again. Interior is painted entirely black to stop light bleeding through the orange plastic. Likely the second manufactured run. Variation C, black body painted dull orange and flat black. The black bodies stop light bleeding through. This variation is more difficult to find. Variation D, opaque orange body, painted black, orange stripe, stops at cab. With a dark red or cherry red railroad herald, rubber stamped on the cab. Variation E, identical to D, except with high gloss black paint. Other issues of this model would be the number 2328 Burlington route and the No Frills 2028 Pennsylvania. Most of these came with a horn. Other GP709 models produced was the number 2337 and 2339 Wabash, both as a GP7. Number 2347 and number 2365 Chesapeake and Ohio, both as GP7s. The number 2346 and number 2359 Boston and Maine, both as a GP9. The number 2348 Minneapolis and St. Louis as a GP9, and the number 2349 Northern Pacific, also a GP9. So that's that model. And the next model we have over there in the Inner City Loop, we'll take a look at it real quick. Okay, coming up next, we have a GE model, one of the first General Electric diesels that I can think of produced. This is a model of a GE 44-ton switcher. Although most people in the hobby realize that these are not to scale, so they just, Lionel, for cost-cutting measures, just reuse the frames produced for other models like an NW2 for these NW or for the 44-ton switchers, and these were produced 3 years only, starting 1956 to 1957. They were produced for 027 gauge sets. These are not particularly prized by collectors. Of the only 5 different production numbers produced, only the number 625 Lehigh Valley came with dummy couplers. All the others had magnetic disc couplers with 3-digit cab numbers. The rarest of these are the number 626 Baltimore and Ohio, produced in 1957, and the 629 Burlington, produced in 1956. The number 628 Northern Pacific, this model here, was produced in 1956 to 57 with a black body and sheet metal frame with yellow stripe and lettering, equipped with a vertical Pullmore motor, 1-axle magnet traction, and operating disc couplers. 3-position E-unit with lever underneath, a ornamental horn and bell, and headlight lenses on both ends, but only one end of these locomotives are lighted. There are 2 variations. Variation A has a black body, with the yellow stripe, yellow lettering. Variation B, which I have never seen, has a blue-black body. The second version is the number 627 red Lehigh Valley. It's equipped just like the 626. Only variation B, kind of interesting, has 2-axle magnet tractions. They're talking about this version of the Lehigh Valley here. This is a kind of a different, where Lionel brought out 2 versions of the same road at different times during that production span. And you have this version Lehigh Valley and this version Lehigh Valley. I didn't know that there was a different version of this that had 2-axle magnet traction, though, so that'll be interesting. I'm kind of curious now if that one does. That was 1956 to 57. That was produced. In 1957 to 58 was the number 625 red and black Lehigh Valley. It had heat-stamped white railroad herald. It's equipped just like the 628, except this is the only version with dummy couplers. There are no variations. It's kind of interesting to note, too, that there was 2 different issues of the same road, but it's interesting that the first issue has a 627, a higher cab number than the second version, which has 625 cab number. That's a little bit peculiar. The fourth version was the number 629 Burlington. It was silver with red herald and lettering. It's equipped like the 628. There are no other variations. This engine is very difficult to find with a quality silver finish, and it demands a premium for those that are in excellent condition if you find one of those. The number 626 Baltimore, Ohio was issued only in 1957, and it used an unpainted blue body with yellow heat stamped lettering on yellow sheet metal chassis, and is equipped like the 628 Northern Pacific. This engine is among the rarest of all types. There are no other variations of this particular model either. So there's those models. And for running purposes, I will be double heading this set. This set won't be running, or this particular engine won't be running. Up next on the upper track, on the inside loop, is the Marx 1998 Alco S3 switchers. It doesn't matter what road these are, they all had the same 1998 cab number. So every one of these are 1998. It was kind of hard to find when these were produced and how long they were in production. What I did find was some information saying that these were produced from 1955 to 62, which stands to reason because these engines share the same motor unit as the E7 diesels that was in the previous episode. And none of these that I've ever ran across have the fat wheel, meaning that was would have been an earlier production on an E7, probably prior to 1955. And I've never found a 1998 that has the fat wheel motor where the cogs were all the way out to the edge of the wheel flanges. So that probably makes sense that these were a later production that came out when they made some changes to the E7s, because these models here, I've either found them with the steel gears with steel wheels or the plastic gears with traction tires. And these little models have, they're a lot heavier than you would think because they have a die-cast frame. And the body is, I'm going to say, molded into the frame with pins. There's no way to remove the shell off of the frame without taking a drill bit to it. I mean, they're easy to service. I mean, the motor unit comes out with no problem. It's just that the shell was not designed to detach from the metal frame. There were 4 different roads produced with 6 different variations. There were 2 different color variations produced for the Santa Fe and the Rock Island. The Rock Island came with red body, gray roof, like this model here, with black lettering. It did have the gray truck frames. So it would have looked just like this and only produced with the black lettering. It did come as a powered and a dummy unit. And the second version would be this one. So it's red with the gray roof, black frame, gray truck sides, and white lettering. These were also produced as a power and dummy unit. These would be your more rare version. The white lettered Rock Island is a rare version. These can fetch big money sometimes. Ask me how I know. The next version would be the Union Pacific here. And this was produced in a yellow body with a gray hood, roof. And these were either produced with the mustard yellow color like this one here, or there is also a canary yellow version of this same engine. And it's equipped just like all the others. So these all had a 2-position reverse unit in them, other than the dummy, of course. Sometimes this yellow version is found, and this version here is equipped with that, with the diesel roar feature. The way to tell if it has a diesel roar feature on these, if you look on the top, all these Marx has a little small hole up here. Hopefully that shows up. You guys can see under that horn, a small hole. And the E7 diesels are the same way. There's a hole in the top of them. And if they have the diesel roar, you're going to see a screw in there like that. Because that's what's holding the diesel roar feature in. So easy way to tell if you're out and about and you happen to see one of these and you're kind of questioning. It doesn't necessarily mean it's functioning correctly, or it doesn't necessarily mean it could be in there. But there's a good chance, a better chance, it's going to be equipped with that, or it was originally, rather than the one without the screw. The next sets here were the Santa Fe's that I'm double heading up here on this run. And as you can see here, they came in, the more common color was typically produced as the as this powered unit is, in the maroon or burgundy or wine, some people call it. And it was also produced here in this less common, more rare black version. So these black versions of the Santa Fe 1998s are a little bit more rare than the maroon version there. The other version that was produced is the Allstate, which I don't have that version. It tends to be somewhat hard to come by also. It was produced as a powered unit in a teal blue with white lettering, and it had yellow nose stripes on it. And the Allstate, in case you guys don't know, is a insurance company that was formed through Sears. And it was sold in the Sears set as the Allstate. That's why it says Allstate on it. I know Allstate was not a road. Now the next set of engines we have here, down here on the lower level inside loop, our last entry in this segment, and the least because it is the smallest of the locomotives for this video. And these are some interesting models that Marx produced, just because there were 9 different variations and 7 different roads produced, which is kind of a little bit different for Marx. And each different road had a road-specific cab number, which is different than the 1998s up there. They are all 1998s, no matter which road it is. So that's a little bit different. And the other thing that's different about these is the black New York Central down there is the more common, unlike the 1998s, where the maroon is a more common color. So the New York Central here, being the most color choices available, having the most variations to it. You had the black version here, which, like I said, is a more common variety, and then the maroon, which is less common. So they can run a little bit more than the black version when you buy these. And then the most expensive, which is the one I don't have, is the gray. They just tend to always go for a lot more money than I'm willing to spend. But there is 3 different colors of the New York Central version here. In this particular locomotive here, it has no reverse unit, like I said, and it's got a single reduction and a single tab and slot coupler. This version here is out of a set number 26665, which would be one of the sets produced toward the end of the run of these. It would be their deluxe set, and this locomotive pretty much came with everything that was the more desirable feature, where it's got the double reduction motor. You can see here by these 2 large gears here and the small gear at the top if they're off the motor shaft. And then you've got a reverse unit in this locomotive down in there. And then this also has the scissor coupler on it, which is more desirable if you're wanting to run your Marx, just because most of them that I buy anyway are equipped with the scissor style coupler. The scissor coupler is the plastic ones were produced with this slot in them. The metal version of this isn't, but you can run the tab and slots with your scissor couplers too if they're plastic. So that's another nice feature to the scissor coupler there. It gives you the option of running more than one type of coupler type with them. And the New York Centrals, being the first models produced 1958, their production ran up to 1962. I've also seen a powered and dummy unit of these. I don't know if Marx ever made them that way, but I did see one come up for sale recently, and I was tempted to splurge on it, but I wasn't sure if Marx produced that way. It doesn't really matter to me. What mattered to me is how much they want for it. And the next candidate was produced from 59 to 65 is the number 799 Rock Island here. And it was produced with this particular one came with a double reduction motor, but it does not have a reverse unit. It does have a headlight, and it comes with this unique, only to Marx, a small knuckle coupler that only ran with the cars that were in this set. This came as a set. This next locomotive here would be the 702 Western Pacific. It's another kind of a locomotive that's came with a lot of different variations. This one has the you can see here the single reduction motor indicated by this one large gear here, and then you got your shorter slide shoe here, and it's also got the knuckle. Now this came out of a set that I have. It's a complete set, number 7205. It comes with the four-wheel cars. It's not the deluxe set that has the cars with the four-wheel trucks in it. It's in fact they're the only four-wheel cars I own, just because I bought the whole set just to basically get that locomotive. I'm trying to find the caboose that goes with the Western Pacific. They are kind of hard to run across. And so that's something else that is kind of fun to collect with these, is each one has a road-specific caboose that you can buy specifically, to run really more with the E7 diesels, not so much with these smaller diesels. But this 702 Western Pacific came in different colors and accent trims. You have the green with the yellow, like this one, and then there was a green, and instead of yellow it would be gold, and then there was a green and cream. So there are different variations of the Western Pacific, much similar to the New York Central with the color scheme. And the next locomotive I have with this set, or with these style of engines, is the Illinois Central Gulf. It's actually cab 801, but this is one of those that does not have the cab number on it. So this would be a version that when it was sold, apparently it was sold as an 801. I call this engine Rudolph just because this one is equipped with everything too. It's got the double reduction motor, the tilt coupler, and a headlight. So just because it's got this white front, it has a red-orange glow, so I call it Rudolph just when it comes down the track, because it's glowing at you. And that's something that's kind of a problem when you run into these locomotives that's got the lighter color paint where the light can bleed through. And then there's several other of these locomotives that I do not have in my collection. One of them being the number 1798 Cape Canaveral. It was produced 1959 to 64. It's a red, white, and blue locomotive. And then there was a number 112 Lehigh Valley red. It has a DC motor in it, and it will not run on AC track, so I don't have that one. And then there's another one that's kind of hard to come by. Would be the last one produced, would be from 1975 to 76, is the number 800 Missouri Pacific System. It's a light blue with a white nose and white lettering. Its claim to fame is that it's the last Marx model produced. So there's your rundown of your 70 tonners for this week, and I think the next thing left to do is we'll get these under power and running. Well, it's been over 3 hours now since I've tried to upload this video. It must be too large, so I decided to break it up into two sections. So this is part A, and part B to follow.